Hello guys and welcome to Blublock. Today I'm going to show you guys how to program, or not really program today, but how to make a tabbed menu without code. And a tabbed menu, if you didn't know, it's basically you can select different tabs from the top and like a main menu or like a pause menu or something, whatever, to show you different options for selecting and stuff. So for example, here I've made myself a tabbed menu without any code. It allows you to save and load. These are just placeholder buttons right here. And it allows you to see other things, you know, of your game. Maybe this is like a pause menu where you can see like your inventory, the world map, the save and load system and all that. But basically, you have these buttons, they'll show different things, and it's all without code, only using Unity's components. And I'm gonna show you guys exactly how to set this up. Okay, so here we have an empty scene, and we have a main camera in our example scene right here. And I'm going to show you how to do this from scratch so that you guys can always, you know, do this whether it's a new project or you're in the middle of a project. Basically, you're going to need to click on your main camera and then create a canvas UI. So we're going to go press canvas right here in the UI section. We're going to make a canvas game object. And basically this allows you to see the UI options that you have in front of your camera and stuff like that. And it's able to configure it to be on the screen. And stretch to the size of the screen here. We're not going to mess too much with these settings right here, but we are going to make yet another game object, a panel within our canvas. Let's actually name our canvas, let's name it menu canvas. Got it. Alright, so we have our menu canvas here. We're going to make a panel. It's also in the UI tab. All these are in the UI tab. There we go. We have our panel right here. It's going to cover the whole entire camera screen. This is going to be like our background to our main menu. So you can change the color and stuff like that, change the image that's the background. But we're just going to keep it like this for now. And we're going to create yet another game object in this panel. This is going to be the container for our tabs. And we can just make it an empty game object here. Let's make it create empty. There we go. And let's name it tab container. So these are going to be like the tabs we select to change the different menus that we see. And we're going to actually add a component, two components to this one. We're going to add a toggle group. And then we're going to add a horizontal, we're going to add a horizontal layout group. This is going to allow the tab container to have all the buttons set out in a neat and arranged line, basically, with our horizontal layout group. We don't have to mess with anything here, but we do actually we can mess with something here. We need to actually change this to the middle center because that's where we're going to see our buttons and stuff like that. So let's create another game object inside our tab container, and these game objects are going to be our buttons that we press to see the different menu options. So we're going to click on the tab container and make another, let's see, UI, go to buttons. We can do legacy button. There we go. All right, so we have our button here. We can remove it to wherever we need. Also, by the way, just to make sure, I'm going to collapse all of these so you guys can understand what child to parent relationship I'm doing with these game objects. So we're going to open up the camera. The main canvas is a child of the main camera, and the panel is a child of the menu canvas, and the tab container is a child of the panel. We all need this so they can, you know, move together when you move the camera. Otherwise, if they're not children of the camera or individually with each other, things aren't going to work out right. So you might move the camera around. These buttons are going to be moving away from the camera. Basically, you need these attached to the camera so it constantly stays on the screen. And we're going to continue on, going to our button. And we see it has a little text component. Don't mess with that too much. We won't need to be making any further children from now. We just have these buttons. So we can make as many buttons inside the tab container as we want, but let's just start with 2 for simplicity. So I'm going to duplicate this, make 2, so we have 2 buttons right here. And as you can see, they're in a horizontal layout because of the tab container. Otherwise, they wouldn't really appear like that. We'd have to manually move them and all that type of stuff. But we can now move this tab container to be somewhere at the center of the screen. Let's do that by going to our scene. Let's click on this, we can find it. And let's move our tab container somewhere right here, kind of where I had in my first example I showed you guys. Let's actually space them out a little bit. Let me have them spaced out. So on our horizontal layout group, we can change the spacing. Right now it's at 0. We can add it to, let's see, 3. Or actually, probably more. We need to probably put it at like 50. There we go. I didn't have too much spacing in my example, but you can change that option in the horizontal layout group. All of these settings all of this that's in the tab container changes like how close they are together, how the buttons are together, and just where they are in position. So now we can move this up here, and now it looks more separated, so it's not directly next to each other. And now what we're gonna need to do is go into each of these buttons we have right here and add one component to them, the toggle component. Alright, oh, we can't add it actually because we need to delete the button, because this is no longer really a button anymore. So here we have our toggle, kind of similar to how we had our toggle group, but we're going to need to have toggles. And basically this on value change to make it so that when you click it, it's going to activate. And when it's activated, it does whatever. So basically we're going to need to put these on both buttons. Delete this. There we go. Toggle. Alright, so now we have our toggles on both buttons. And we're going to assign, let's say, we need to make a new game object that we want to appear whenever we press this one. And we need to make a game object appear when we press this one. And I'll put them both on each respective side so we can understand what's going on here. Let's create a square game object. Okay, so on this one we have our trusty game object square on this side. Let's make it, what color should we make it? I'm gonna do red on this side. Alright, and then we're gonna copy this one. And let me just name them red and blue respectively so we don't get distracted or confused by just square. Alright, so the blue side is going to be on the right side, red side on the left, so we're going to have both of these shown now, actually. So, whoops, I think I named them, no, I didn't name them correctly. This one needs to be blue. There we go. Alright. Alright, so we have one on the left and one on the right. So we're going to go back to the buttons. And on value change, we're going to put the red one for the first one. On value changed, we're going to have the red one be active. So when this one's, clicked and this tab's open, the red game object is going to show. When the blue one, or when this button's pressed, the blue button is going to, or the blue game object we have right here, is going to show. So when you go to the second button, and then, oops, that's too many. Drag the blue one in there, go to set active. This will toggle the activeness. And let's press play and see what happens. Oh, but before we start, actually, one thing I did almost forget was the toggle groups. We need to actually assign the toggle groups before we do anything else. So our toggle group is going to be the tab container because it has that controller or that component in it. So let's drag the tab container into the toggle group section on this component for both buttons. There we go. All right, now we should be able to have these values be changed and stuff like that. All right, so here we are, projects on, and as you can see, the blue button's not here anymore because this one's currently selected and it's showing the red button. So if we go to this button, it's going to show the blue one. Because this one isn't active anymore and it hides the red one. So it has a different, menu option. You can put these anywhere you want. You can have it show different things. It doesn't even have to be like a blue game object. It could just be like whatever you want to show. Whether it be an image, more button options, sliders, all that stuff. It's super easy without code. You don't have to do much except for add game objects and components. And it's a lot quicker than making a whole script to do this, because you could do it the scripted way or doing it this way. And I think doing this way is much easier because it also adds more flexibility. You can add as many buttons as you want. You can add as many game objects to show or do whatever when you press a certain tab option. And I think it's really great and helpful for games where you have like a pause menu and you want to show different sections like the options, the inventory, the save and load area, the world map. Anyways, if you'd like to see more content and more coding videos to help you guys with anything that you need, from making menu tabs to changing camera values to doing different variable stuffs, I'm always here and happy to help. So, for now, Blublock out.